What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take MLB DFS First Look. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. You can also find me at the Wise Take Nation. That's wisetake.com. Today, on this Wednesday, we have an 8-game slate. I do not believe there is an early slate, or at least a large one, maybe like 2 games or so. So the main slate's all we got on a Wednesday, and it's not a bad one. With 8 games, kind of right up our alley. As far as cash games go, I think Shane Bieber or Zach Gallen are your 2 starting points. If you can afford Bieber, I think you make it happen. Floor is just really good, especially lately. White Sox, not a very good offense. Actually, very bad offense. Strikes out a ton. Gallen, I think, is the other option because it's San Diego. Gallen has pitched really well. And also has shown a really good floor outside of, a couple starts, one of which was in Coors. But, so I think one or the other. I prefer Bieber if you could reach him. And then I think Jake Junis stands out as the SP2 for tournaments, cash games. What's interesting is there is another viable option, and that is Trevor Williams. So I guess if you were going Bieber, you could use Williams. And inversely, if you wanted Junis, maybe you use Gallen that way. But I do think that those would be the best options. It does look like the Gallen-Junis option is going to allow you the most flexibility with your bats. Now, we don't have cores on this slate. We do have some offenses like the Red Sox and the Twins who are expensive. So I guess it's going to depend on how much salary you need. Right now, I feel like the Bieber-Junis is the ideal in cash, but again, it's tempting not to drop down to Williams and even Bieber. I guess Bieber, because of the ceiling aspect, you leave him up there. Maybe Bieber-Williams, though, is acceptable. Williams has been a lot better. With that said, coming into tournaments, I still like Bieber and Gallen the most, even in tournaments. But I think that an option, if you really wanted to get crazy with bats, is Junis Williams, combining those 2. And I'm sure that'll be a combination that's not like super contrarian. I'm sure in tournaments people will try it. But Junis Williams, again, playing kind of the opponent. And Williams has actually looked really good lately. Most recent start was really good in Coors against the Rockies. 6 Ks, 3 earned through 7 innings. Again, that's in Coors. Now he's home against the Marlins, and Mitch Keller was on his way dominating them until he took that comebacker back and just ruined my night. But he was on his way. With that said, I still like those 4 pitchers. I think maybe changing how we pair them, get a little creative in tournaments. After that, this Duger dude was really impressive in his last game. That was against Cincinnati. We've seen them struggle against righties, and recently we've seen them even struggle against lefties. I think Smiley balled out against them. He gets a good park. He is on the road, but he gets a good park against Pittsburgh. Now, it's interesting, his first start did not go well. Got destroyed by the Mets, 2 homers, and that was in Citi Field, so I'm curious to see if it's a home or road thing. Pittsburgh is a very pesky team. They don't strike out a lot. That's what worries me about them. Waka, I guess, is in consideration. Again, there's a common denominator here, Cincinnati. Was his last opponent, and he did well, and he's actually been hitting value over his last 3 games. So he's interesting. But similarly to the previous team we discussed, San Francisco can be pesky and can be tough to strike out. So those are guys kind of right outside the cusp, I think, for me right now. That I'll have to look into a little bit more. But the first 4 that stand out to me immediately are Trevor Williams, Jake Junis, Bieber, and Gallen. As far as the stacks go, the bats. So Senzatella's on a slate against the Dodgers. Senzatella has given up massive amounts of earned runs, both at home and on the road recently. And Coors gave up 8, but that was Coors. Against the Yankees, gave up 6. No home runs, but he only won an inning and a third, gave up 6 earned. At St. Louis, got destroyed. And then And Coors again, but against Pittsburgh, got lit up for 6 earned again. So the Dodgers, who busted today as chalk, seem to be on this every other day kick. Analytically, that carries like no weight, but it is pretty interesting. And when you play tournaments, you can think a little outside the box. So I do like the Dodgers. They will be pretty popular, though. Don't think they're sneaky. They will be popular. Edwin Jackson is pitching against Kansas City. So Edwin Jackson's come back down to earth recently. Granted, they were both against Minnesota, gave up 6 earned in each of those. Kansas City has been playing well. I'm going to want to check the weather, though. If we get like hot, humid temperatures, wind blowing out, all those factors, then it'll be a little tougher to ignore Kansas City. But if I get the feeling Kansas City is going to be really popular, they're one of those teams you just don't want as chalk. A bad offense. Not that you want to play too much chalk anyway in tournaments when it comes to the bats, but you definitely want to try to avoid chalk, like bad players that are chalk. More importantly, bad teams. Now, don't get me wrong, the Royals have some pretty good players. I think Mondesi and some of these guys are really good, but overall, and Soler's having a crazy fucking year. But overall, they're obviously not a winning team, not a very good team. So, you see my point. Cleveland against Nova, certainly interesting, right? Nova's been like very hot, hit or miss. Hasn't gotten blown up a ton, though. And Cleveland's lineup right now with J-Ram out, and we'll have to see what it looks like tomorrow, but the lineup today looked terrible. Just looked bad. I do think that Oakland is in play. There's a lot of offenses, just not like, there's a lot. As far as more contrarian offenses, I kind of like the Red Sox against Berrios. Berrios did end up doing okay against the White Sox. Give up 3. He's been giving up runs, and he has not seen a ton of good offenses recently, right? Like when he did, look what Atlanta did to him. Atlanta was the last like good. You can count Cleveland, but look what Atlanta did to him. 9 earned, 2 home runs. Twins bullpen is terrible. Good park for hitting. Boston will be low owned because it's Berrios. Berrios not good on the road, never has been. I don't know. I think he's taken a step back this year. He hasn't looked as crisp to me this year. Again, he said, look what the Tigers did to him. 5 earned runs against the Tigers. So, I think the Boston is one of my favorite contrarian stacks going into this. So, I talked about the obvious ones, right? The Dodgers, the Royals, and I think my contrarian one's going to be Boston against Berrios. So, all right, that's going to do it for this little break. DZ, I'll do some top 3s in a second and some Dong Watch home run calls. But first, going to remind everybody, if you haven't checked us out at whitestake.com, do me a favor and go over there, check us out, see what it is we do, see how we help you become a better DFS player. Try us out with a day pass for MLB. It's $2.50 to get in for 1 full day. You'll get access to all the actual content, including the Y stream, which is a live stream we do 2 hours before lock, after our guys have done their research. With a chat, you can ask questions. The cheat sheets, articles, you'll get access to all of it. Only thing you don't get is the Slack chat. Slack chat is for monthly members or higher. We have various packages the Slack chat comes with, so like season passes, all sports passes, all that stuff are fine. But I do recommend that after you try us out with the day pass, you do commit to the monthly. The number one, you'll save money, monthly or season or whatever, all sports, whatever. We have a bunch of packages, but I do recommend that you pick a plan that gets you in the Slack, because that's really where you can really develop and exchange ideas with a great community that we have in our Slack. We have some really, really sharp members in there. The analysts, of course, but we got some really sharp members as well. And, we got guys in there winning all the time and just like learning and grinding every single day. So highly recommend you do get access to that Slack after you try us out, of course. We do have a new NFL season pass promo going on. So this ends, I believe, September 7th, which is Saturday. So literally week 1 starts. The price for the NFL season DFS content is $149.99. We had the sale for $99.99. That's over. Hopefully you took advantage of that. If you didn't, this is your last chance. And with this is your last chance special promo that we're doing, $109.99. Price has gone up $10 from the previous sale. $109.99. You get NFL for full season. You got to use the promo code last chance special. Or last chance. Look at our Twitter at @wise_take. I think it's last chance special NFL. I believe. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go to the Wise Take Twitter at @_take. And it is last chance NFL 2019. No spaces. Last chance NFL 2019. Here it is. You will get it for $109.99. Full season offer expires September 7th. All right. Now time for the top three. Sorry about that. Got a little lost in the shuffle. Top three pitchers are going to be Bieber, Gallen. Pigeonholed myself. I'm going to give 4 today because to me it's a 1-2-1-2 with the SP1s and SP2s. So Bieber, Gallen as the spend ups. Jonas Williams as my paydowns. Yes. Probably going to be chalky as all hell too. So we'll see what we find tomorrow. Stacks. I'm going to go with the 2 chalky ones we discussed, which is the Dodgers and the Royals. And then I'm going to go with my favorite stack as of right now is probably Boston. Because I'm thinking about that ownership. So I'm going Boston. Hello, ownership. JD Martinez has been like the hottest hitter on the planet, by the way. I'm going with Boston. Home runs. Going with JD Martinez up top. We will go with Soler, who's just been a freak. We're going to pick a Dodger, too. Do we do Cody Bellinger, or is that too obvious? How about Seager? How about Seager? Nah. Muncy's out. Oh, yes. Chalk dude today. What is he at? Gavin Lux. We'll go Gavin Lux. He was chalk today, didn't do very well. Let's go Gavin Lux for a bounce back. So Gavin Lux, JD Martinez, Jorge Soler. If you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up, that like button, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget the notifications bell. So you'll be notified whenever we put out any content on the channel. Much appreciated. And check us out at wisetake.com. For myself, the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck.
Yes.